ask you about Gavin. He hasn't been, a focal point of an offense that's, one of the best in the ACC, one of the best in the country. How have you seen him stay locked in? Because at the same time, you see him delivering downfield blocks for Eli Holstein when he's running.
Yeah, I mean, number one with Gavin, he's very, very unselfish, and that's what you always love to see from your leaders. And I'll be honest, we've made him a focal point, and we've called some things for him, and maybe coverage has changed, whatever it may be. And I know Coach Narduzzi kind of alluded to the other day, like he's kind of been the most unlucky dude in the nation. We were laughing about it in our meeting, but the neatest thing about it is, after we were laughing about it, he said, Coach, I don't really care if we're winning right now, and that's what you want to see from a guy that's been a part of the program for that long. And so moving forward, like I told him, just keep preparing the right way, keep taking care of what you can control, and the ball's going to find you. And that's just how football works. The football gods are usually pretty good at people that play hard and work hard.
What do you think has been the biggest contributing factor to the ball just not finding him in a lot of spots so far? Because it's finding a lot of people right now.
Yeah, I think just sometimes you get down there, and obviously a big tight end, you're going to be a focal point down the red zone, and maybe some coverages have changed from what we've seen on film and some tendencies, and or even the one, I think Eli may have dropped the ball on a snap or something like that on against North Carolina. So those things happen, and again, you just got to control what you can control, keep playing hard and run the routes, and it'll find you.
As a group, how do you feel like you've done just from a blocking standpoint?
Really good. I think in the fourth quarter, when you turn that tape on against North Carolina, I'm so proud of those two, because they were finishing blocks. Whether it was downfield, in the box. It was fun to watch, and even Gavin on the last touchdown run there that Eli had. Gavin rolls his guy into the end zone 2-3 yards, and really, really awesome block. So, really proud of those guys, especially to finish that game that way on the road. Like that's what you want to see. So moving forward, we just got to continue to execute at that high level in the blocking, the run game.
What have you seen from Gavin as far as in the leadership moments?
I think he's been great. He's been really positive. He's been doing more. He's been bringing other guys along and wanting to meet extra. He's helping out with young Malachi a lot, which is awesome. I love that in our room. And then just in terms of the offense, like on days if it's a little bit slow at practice, like he's being loud, he's being vocal. And the neat thing is you're hearing a lot more guys on the offense side of the ball too. That's the special thing. So we just got to keep that going.
What do you like from Malachi? He's not necessarily like being a huge part of the offense, but it seems like he has a lot of special teams.
Yeah. Malachi keeps getting better and better every single week. He's moving even better. He's lost a little bit of weight since he's gotten here. He's getting stronger. He's just such a natural football player. He's so fluid in his movements, and he's got great feel, spatial awareness, and just he's just as a freshman that has a lot of energy and just love where he's at right now.
How much coaching does a guy like Ben Sauls need? He's a mature kid, and he's been really good. He's older. What kind of things do you do to encourage him or help him along, or any tips you give him? Or
yeah, I think just with Ben, to your point, he's an older guy and he's experienced a lot of ups and downs, and so because of that, I just always challenge him to have fun. And a lot of times, honestly, with Ben, if he's having a down day, which for Ben, his down day is not very bad at all. It's just cracking jokes with him, keeping him loose because he's very hard on himself. He talks about how fierce of a competitor he is, and so it makes it a little bit easier with a guy like that. You kind of have some fun with him and mess around. And a lot of people have they think that specialists can't get coached hard. And Ben's kind of the opposite. Like he wants to be coached hard and told that he's not performing at a high level. So it makes it fun.
Have you golfed with him yet?
Oh yeah. So we do a specialist tight ends golf outing. My group did not win, so I need to make sure I fix that pairing next year. But yeah, we do, and we golf another time together. He's phenomenal at golf. And it makes sense because he's really lead up top. I get a little bit more frustrated on that golf course.
He's better than you then?
Yes, he is. I'll give him that credit.
Was it like watching him during that Cincinnati game? You struggled in that first half. Obviously, got the game winner. What was it like watching?
What it was like. It's what I've watched every single day. We train for those moments, and so now when we go out and execute those moments, it's not any surprise to us. And for me, the funny thing was, obviously everybody sees the celebration that he did, and there was one day in the ST meeting I talked about him celebrating. He told me, this is his quote, not mine, so you guys can write that down. He said, "Coach, I don't celebrate when I do something good as expected." I pull up the tape. I was like, "It looks to me like you're celebrating right here." So, but it was awesome to see for him. Again, just his confidence, a guy that's deserved that and earns that, and we should keep it going.
Jacob, the second half of the Miami game aside, Cal hadn't given up a lot of points defensively. What stands out to you? Is it speed? What do they do well?
They play the game the right way, and what I mean by that, they play ultra aggressive. They play hard. They're really sound with their movements. They don't waste a lot of movement. They have great hand placement in the run game. They get off blocks well. And they swarm to the football, and then outside on the edges, they have long DBs that are really good cover guys. That win a lot of matchups out there. And so I mean they do a great job. They have a good scheme. They're multiple, and so they do a really good job on the defense side of the ball.
What have you thought about how Caleb performed this season? He did pretty well against North Carolina.
Yeah, Junko, man, I tell you what, that was his best game against North Carolina, and in testament to Upa, it was also Upa's best game. And like I tell those guys, it goes hand in hand. Upa obviously made a great tackle. We challenged our punt unit all week last week. That was a punt returner that came into our stadium last year and really did whatever he wanted to do. Obviously, he had the touchdown. So that was a big focus, and I think he had the 2 returns for 4 yards. I wish he wouldn't have those 4 yards. But Junko had 2 punts over 50 yards, flipped the field twice. So I think where he's at, he continues to stack weeks, and I'm proud of him, and he's just got to continue to do that so we can take advantage of an explosive punt unit when we want to do that. It's kind of a bad word, but.
Coach, I know you're focused on football, but all the fall sports at Pitt are doing phenomenally well. Have you ever been around this much success spread out around an athletic department, and what's it been like just getting to be part of that in your first year?
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. I think it's a testament, obviously, to what the University of Pittsburgh is about. And I think anytime you can be around winners, like I always tell our guys, like people love winners. That's the way that's the way America works. And so it's neat to be at a place right now and see the other sports, volleyball tearing it up, soccer, and obviously us. And so I mean it's an exciting time to be a Pitt Panther, as it always is. And I think it's something and I think that stuff's contagious. And I truly believe that's what makes sports so amazing. It just helps an entire place get through anything and obviously enjoy life a little bit more. And so it's exciting.
Against West Virginia, I mean, they had that big punt. They got the first down. The next punt, Maverick obviously makes that block and Brent takes it into the end of the touchdown. What was going through your head during those 2 plays? Pretty crazy usage for a touchdown.
So what was going through my head in the first one was utter frustration. That was on me. I mean, we had 10 guys in the field. We didn't have an edge to the defense, and that's why he faked it, which is obviously me as a coach. So that's what, I mean, I'm not going to repeat what was going through my head at that moment. But then obviously again, it's just as a coach, you can always be reminded to just play the moment. You can't do anything about the last moment. You got to move on. And obviously we've corrected that and haven't had any issues. And obviously it was awesome for Maverick to go out there and execute and do his job and make that big play. So we talk about game-changing plays in special teams. And you never know when they're going to come up. And what a neat thing to teach our team. Like you just keep playing the next play because of how that sequence happened, right? Like we had the bad thing, and then we get a stop on defense, and we come out there and the next play, that's the game-changing play. That's what this game's all about, is just playing the next play.
Yeah, I mean, there's 40 seconds or less to, organize, get something going, get ready for the next play. How do you account for something like that? Like, how many guys are on the field? Do we have 11?
Yeah, I mean, it's always, it's a sideline organization. It's always a big piece of it, and as a special teams coordinator, you're always on that, and Danny does a great job on the sideline as well. Just making sure those guys are right there. You're communicating with them, and we color coordinate depth charts like everybody in the country about like, hey, these guys might be on the field, so you have an idea. And they're always right there next to you. So it's a good just reminder for our team, like man, like when we're calling something, like you got to be right there with us, because a lot of times I'm looking, you're as a special teams coordinator, you're looking at the field, like seeing what's going on with the punt unit, for checks and all that kind of stuff. So that's how I've cleaned that up now.
Anything else for Coach?
What do you think about the return games? Obviously, we saw the Desmond against Kansas State. That big return put up, but I guess not really a ton of sense. What do you thought about the return?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been solid. It's Cincinnati. We went kind of on a 2-week stretch there on punt return where we just didn't get many pitches to hit. To be honest, whenever you return a big one, and then we're aggressive in the block game as well. So, you kind of see different things from teams. And so because of that, as a result, we went 2 weeks without really a return opportunity. And then it's good to see Kenny versus Youngstown State. He's doing a great job back there as a punt returner. And the biggest thing though to me is like we got to clean up our penalties. We've got too many penalties. So that's something moving forward. It's got to be a focus for everybody. It's always been a focus of mine, and it's been sloppy. And again, I have to clean it up. Starts with me as a coach. But we got a dominant field position. You can't do that when you get penalties.
Good. Coach, thank you.
Awesome.